Hi everybody, if you're experiencing ME, CFS, long COVID, fibromyalgia, POTS related conditions and your capacity is low, maybe you're bedbound or mostly horizontal, this video is for you. If you rest and you still feel awful, you try to do something to expand your activity and you experienced strong payback, maybe you think, I'm back to square one, I'm failing at recovery, maybe I'll never get well. I've shared a video in which I talk about the 4 phases of healing. Okay, so I've put the link below this video. So I talk about those 4 phases: stabilization, number 2, regulation, reconditioning, number 3, and 4, integration. In this video, I'm going to talk about the first one, stabilization, what it's really for, why your mind isn't your enemy, even when it feels like it. And the one key shift that helped me move from sending danger signals to sending more safety in my body. And I'm going to end with sharing a guided phase 1 safety script. You can record this in your own voice, or you can just listen to the one that I'm going to send. And if you comment script, I'll share the link where you can access that script so that you can either read it or record it. So if you are watching live, and there are a few people who've joined, so thanks for that, do say hello in the chat. Let me know where you are in the world, and let me know actually what phase you would say that you're in. Are you in that stabilization phase where you really aren't doing much? Are you in that regulation mode where there is some energy but it is fickle? Number 3, where there is a bit more consistency and you're starting to really expand. And obviously you can switch between phases, or whether you're moving between 3 and 4, which is integration, getting back to life. So do let me know in the chat. As I say, in this session, we're going to focus on phase 1, stabilization. All right, so do feel free, as I say, to let me know in the chat where you are in the world and what phase you think you're in. So I want to briefly introduce myself. If you don't know me, my name is Simon Pimenta. I had ME, CFS and fibromyalgia for about 8-9 years. At one point I was bedbound, resting and sleeping 18 hours plus per day, and I couldn't walk for 1 minute without serious payback. Contrast that with now. In February I went to Dubai to visit my daughter. In beginning of June I went to Greece, and this is a picture of the top of a hill. There were some steps, and it was like walking up steps for about 20 minutes before we descended onto this secluded beach with this lovely turquoise blue water. All right, and that's something, there's just no way I could have done that when I first got sick, or even after 8 years of ME, CFS. My energy was still fickle, and what really helped me was learning mind, body and practical strategies. Okay, and that's what got me back on track. So I'm not sharing that to say you should be where I am. My body didn't go from being bedbound to that overnight. A huge part of that journey was this phase 1 work that we're going to talk about in this video, especially changing how my mind was reactivating the stress response. So Emily says UK, and she's about 2 or 3. Thanks for sharing that, Emily. Sorry, I didn't mean to actually add that to the broadcast. So let's look at phase 1. Let's define phase 1. It's when your capacity is very low, you're resting a lot, you experience symptoms with minimal effort. There can be brain fog, shutdown and sensitivity. Key message I want to share is that phase 1 is not about forcing expansion, increasing activity, proving that you're improving. Let me know if you've done any of those things. I am certainly guilty of doing those things at certain points when it was totally inappropriate. Phase 1's goal is very simple. It's safety. Okay, so when my capacity was low, it usually meant that my nervous system perceived that I was in a threat situation. So my brain went into protection mode and it generated symptoms. So let me know if you can relate with the following. Protection can look like shutdown, heightened symptoms, feeling like you need more rest. This isn't laziness. This isn't weakness. It's biology. Okay, my body and your body isn't failing. It's protecting. Okay, so let's talk a little about why fear-based thoughts can keep you stuck, and let me know if you can relate to this. I remember someone from one of the ME organisations said people with ME don't experience fear. Fear isn't an issue. And I did respond saying that wasn't my experience. Appreciate it if you don't talk on behalf of everyone with this condition, because you certainly aren't talking for me. I was actually stuck in fear, okay? And fear-based thinking can keep you stuck, all right? So as I stated earlier, my mind would say, I'm failing. I'm back to square one. This isn't working. I might never get well. Am I going to get well? I might end up worse. Let me know, are those catastrophizing thoughts something you've done? Just put a C in the chat if you recognize that. And the thing is, what my nervous system heard is, we're not safe, we're in danger. And the consequence of that is it re-triggered the stress response, which meant more fear, more tension, more hypervigilance, more stress chemistry. And that stopped my body from doing important healing work. Because when our body is in a state of stress, it affects key functions, including immune function, including the capacity to achieve deep restorative sleep. It affects our digestion, and it affects energy production. Our body stops producing and storing energy to the degree that it does when we're in a relaxed, regulated state. So those thoughts weren't bad or wrong. They were completely understandable. But they were sending messages of danger to a system that was already overloaded. Does that make sense? Let me know. And that, as I say, stops the body from doing important healing work. So phase 1 is all about reducing danger signals and increasing safety signals. So we want to consider this key shift from I'm failing to today my body is asking for stabilization. So the key shift I learned was to change my internal language. When the thoughts appear, I really encourage you to pause. When you notice I'm failing, I'm back to square one, I'll never get well, just pause and take one slow breath. If it's helpful, you can put one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and just focus on making the hand on your belly move as you breathe in and out. Make that breath slow and low, okay, i.e. you're breathing from your diaphragm, not from your chest up here. When we breathe from our chest, that tends to be more shallow, okay? So notice the thought. Take a slow breath, and you can follow that up with more slow breaths. Then name what's happening. Notice my mind is activating the stress response. We're not judging it, we're just noticing it. So we're bringing awareness. And I'd like you to consider that there's a part of you, I call it the wise self, true self, authentic self, that can spot these patterns. This part of you has the capacity for what I call supervision, has the capacity to spot patterns. I notice that my mind is activating the stress response. So we're not judging it, we're just noticing it. Okay? And now you can say a new line to yourself. You could say to yourself, today my body is asking for stabilization. I'm not forcing positivity. I'm not pretending everything's fine. I'm just shifting from that judgment to understanding. And then you can add one small safety cue. Might be just to soften your gaze for 10 seconds. Take one slow, longer out breath. Because when we breathe in and elongate our out breath, then that helps activate the parasympathetic healing response. And I've talked in another video about the physiological sigh, where we take a slow breath in and then we take an extra small breath, and this opens up the little parts of your lungs which can actually take in a little bit more oxygen. So you take a slow breath in like this, and then you take this extra one. Okay, then you breathe out slowly. It's called the physiological sigh, and Professor Andrew Huberman says that this can actually be really beneficial doing that. So soften your gaze, take a slow breath with a longer out breath. Slowly look around the room, letting your eyes settle on a few objects, just having a sense of those objects, the material they're made from, the proximity they are to you, the texture. Okay, so you might do that for 3 objects. All right. You might say to yourself, right now, I'm safe enough. So why does this matter? Well, you don't need a big, complicated routine. What's useful is just that repetition of safety. And each time you do this, you're slightly changing the message your body gets. Consider that. When we're stressed, we breathe more shallowly. When we're more relaxed, we breathe more deeply. So when we take that conscious, slow breath, it's sending the signal we're safe. Okay? So I want to just guide you through this short phase 1 safety script. You can just listen, or later you can read it or record it in your own voice. So right now I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze. Obviously only soften your gaze, close your eyes if it's safe for you to do so. So this is about building trust with your body. So I invite you to consider the following. Something is happening in my body right now. It feels intense, but that intensity doesn't mean danger. My body is doing its best to protect me. Protection can feel uncomfortable, and I am safe. Right now, my only job is stabilization. I don't need to fix everything now. I don't need to solve recovery. I don't need to prove anything. In this moment, I am safe enough. I can soften my breath. I can relax my jaw. I can let my shoulders drop. This sensation can rise and fall. I don't have to fight with it. My system is learning, and I am helping it by staying steady. So I invite you just to take a couple of breaths. If you want a shorter version, you can use or adapt the following. This feels intense, but I'm not in danger right now. I am safe. I am safe enough. my body is protecting me. Right now, I choose stabilization. As I say, you can write this down. I will be happy to share the script, comment script below, and I will share the phase 1 safety script. In fact, I'll share all 4 phases. Okay. I say you can write this down, record it in your own voice, and use it when symptoms feel challenging. So, I want to just reiterate the core work in phase 1 and invite you to do a little 7-day experiment. So healing is not a race. In phase 1, going slower is not falling behind. It is the core practice. Okay? So if all you do this week is to notice one fear-based thought a day, pause, take a soft breath, say, today my body is asking for stabilization, and add one tiny safety cue, as I mentioned earlier. You're already doing the recovery work. So if you're watching live or the replay and you're up for this 7-day experiment, just put a 7 in the chat or share one phrase you're going to practice this week. So today we took a deeper dive into phase 1, stabilization. Why it may feel like you're failing at recovery. How fear-based thoughts send danger messages. How actually you're not failing at recovery. And one simple way to send more safety instead. Remember, your body isn't failing, it's protecting. And you can begin to work with it by changing the messages it receives. If you'd like more support with this, I run resilience group coaching calls every 2 weeks. We had one yesterday. There's no charge for that. So if you'd like to know more about that, comment group and I'll send you the details. I also do the resilience coaching circle. This is a small paid group for people who want help applying these tools week by week and who want to go deeper. Comment circle or email me at, I think I shared that picture, didn't I? At support@mecfsexplore.com and I'll send you the information. So, if all you do this week is drop the I'm failing story once a day and replace it with today my body is asking for stabilization, you're already doing recovery work. Dare to dream big dreams and dare to take steps, no matter how small, to help you move towards them. At one point I was just dreaming about doing the things like going to festivals, being able to be physically active, and those dreams came true. And remember, if it's not impossible, it is possible. So thanks for watching. Keep taking small steps. Thank you for your thumbs up. Do leave a comment, leave a like if you like this video. Do share it with one person if you found this video helpful. Thanks again. Let me know if there are any topics you'd like me to cover. See you in the next video where I'm going to talk about phase 2. Okay, but for now, bye for now.